Hello and welcome to the Sage of Tarn Alpha version 0.44, February 2020. So, to follow up on last time, where we had introduced the collision system, as well as trying to gear up for mass unit spawning, this time around I've been working on solving a lot of the minor issues with the implemented collision system, as well as working on the big rewrite of how the state system functions for all the units. So, if we jump into it, let me just start the game. Let's start with some of the visual additions that we have this time around, which include, but are not limited to, the guy now having a small head. He now has the ability to change color using the shaders. We have a camera feature that allows the right stick to control the camera slightly and relatively smoothly. Did have to refix a bug that was reintroduced with that, but that's not a problem at all. It's like, if you remember the seams bug that we had when you were moving camera, randomly occurred again, but I just solved it immediately, so that's kind of nice. In regards to adjustments, we have the character here, as well as the small mob that peeked in from the side there. They've been adjusted slightly in how they look, size and shape primarily. The smaller dudes can also swap color, and considering this ability to now change the color of them, like so, I made a small mini game, which basically is whenever you hit one of the smaller units, they change your color. And the way the minigame functions is, you as the player get to choose a color in the beginning, and you need to keep it while trying to find the other city, which is located somewhere up, in the map. I tested it on 2 people with relative success. There is some extra notes on it in the bottom of the change notes for those people that care about that. Let's see here. We have the state system rewrite fully complete. We now have like conditions and outcomes for whatever you want, really. I can't really explain it super easily, but it's very easy for me to now build a new unit in terms of what it should do. In conjunction with that, this also means that the next thing that I'm going to work on is doing the same thing for the limbs of the creature as well as its animation set, to make that also equally easily buildable, if that makes sense. Jumping on to some of the bugs, we still have the we still have a few pending bugs, which is the mob sliding when they shouldn't. I don't think it's an issue any longer, but considering the new rewrite, but I have to check into it. The zooming is still something I haven't investigated, as well as the unit spawning precisely on top of each other is still an issue, but we can actually, let me try and test it. Okay, that doesn't work. They don't spawn quickly enough on top. I have a feeling that it might be the engine trying to prevent, object duplication, because it only happens so far, at least, when they're spawned on top of each other in the engine's normal menu. But I'll have to investigate it a little bit more. In addition to that, we have found and fixed the spawning inaccuracy. If you remember last time, now I can spawn them like this, all around me, essentially, with no real issues. Let me just get away from these guys. Oh, that was another bunch. Let's go over here. Now, let's see here. So we have the spawning inaccuracies fixed, which also, you no longer do this whenever you spawn a unit, which I noticed that it did before. This is tied to it. Additionally, we have fixed the units being able to reach a square root of a negative number while in the air. There's a nice function in the engine for that, as well as having fixed the inaccuracy with ground collision, which I can test with 1 unit and show you. Only the circles touch each other, so I can walk over him. Couldn't do that before because it did it wrong, but we can do that now. Also means that I have to specify a little bit more out that the circle is more important than the rest of the limbs and stuff, but that's like a visual cue for the player to work with. Oops. Lost my color already. Anyways, those are the primary things. Oh god. My voice is still a little scuffed. I had a nice trip to Greenland, by the way. Shout out to friends up there. Very nice place they have. Very nice place in general. But yeah, those are the main things. Talking a little bit about testing, I suppose. Tested it on 2 people, both of it very varied reactions when it comes to it. But I think it's like the circumstances. So like both is in their own homes, but one was very tired and the other one was very ecstatic about it. So I think I need like testing conditions which are way more controlled. Probably need a proper setup for it basically. Oh, damn it! You got me. But yeah, that's the general gist of it this time. A lot of backend stuff, a lot of the things that you won't see, but now things function more correctly, as well as a small minigame addition. And that's about it. Hopefully I'll have a little bit more next time, when ideally we will have more an easier, hard to dodge, there we go, where it should be easier for me to choose animations and all that sort of stuff for them, because as you can see, they're like a smaller copy of me with a little bit of change in how their limbs are arranged, because they don't really have their own. And it was the same issue with the state system before, but now they do their own thing. I think they can even walk way like further, more like vertical than I can, because I'll start sliding and they won't. It's a little interesting. I still want to work more with their brain, so that they do something more than just limbing around as they do right now. They can like knock into each other and me if they accidentally hit me, but that's about it. Which is not that interesting, right? Let's be honest. There you go. But yeah, that's pretty much where we are at this point. We're getting there, which is quite nice. Anyways, thanks for watching and all that sort of jazz. Hope to see you next time. Take care.